Esteemed and noble Outlander, allow us to introduce ourselves.
We represent the 3 great clans of this realm, having been selected as its authorized historical supervisors.
Our purpose being to await the arrival of one such as yourselves who shall remove the clockwork key.
My name is...
You're Cape, he's Albizzi, and that's Bobarano, right? You've done so much talking that we can already tell you apart by your voices.
Aren't we missing someone, though? The guy who led us here to begin with?
Who?
And thus was born the long-awaited Fellowship, destined to uncover the truth of the past. Allow me to quote, if I may, in the history of Constellation Metropole, a new page has begun.
Him.
Well, there's no 4th person, so which of you is the ventriloquist? Come on, out with it.
We've never heard that voice before, but he sounds like he'd be good at reading bedtime stories to children.
Well, whoever it is, I don't know and I don't care. Forget about him. We have far more important things to focus on, like where our journey goes from here.
That key you hold is the pivot point about which the past and present of the Metropole revolve. However, between our 3 clans, there is some dispute over the historical record.
Each clan has its own version of history, detailing the clan's origins and the tale of the dragon of old, and unfortunately, we don't know which one is the truth.
Dragon? You mean the one that's been acting up recently?
Oh, no, not that one, you adorable little pixie. When I say dragon of old...
He means a dragon that would be really, really old if it was still with us today, but it was defeated in ancient times. The new one has nothing to do with our clan history.
Was that supposed to be a joke? Anyway, so you've been waiting for someone to remove the key so you can finally explore the truth of the past?
Not just explore it, but argue incessantly about it. Honestly, I don't care that much. Cape's the one who's always bothering us about it.
What we need to figure out is who resolved the dragon crisis. We have to know that before we can decide which is the supreme clan.
The moment you removed the key from where it was lodged, you became the honorary Marquis. We humbly beseech you, noble Outlander. Noble Traveler Marquis, we ask you to help us. You and your talking Puss in Boots and the pale floating pixie.
Puss in Boots? Are you serious? It's better than demon feline, but still.
Embrace it, my friend, embrace it. Most cats don't wear boots or speak, do they?
I'm not even a cat, I'm a Nekomata. Now that you know the word, I expect you to use it.
Please allow me to lead you all to a sacred memorial site. It will be much easier to explain what needs to be done once we are there. This place is sacred to my clan. It's where our brave forefathers once took up arms against the dragon of old. After a bitter battle that dragged on for many days and nights, finally, our forefathers fought the dragon into submission, and it fled. They took turns, though. Some forefathers worked the day shift, while others worked the night shift. So they say. It's just a legend, though.
Wait a second? Did I just hear you admit that your clan's history is just a legend?
History, legend, who cares? My clan was definitely courageous, that's the point. That's the truth. And isn't the truth what we've all been arguing about non-stop for all these years?
Cape's words gave the traveler food for thought. Could it be that the truth in a fictional world is equivalent to fiction in the real world? But that would have to wait. Apparently, Cape was not alone in his pilgrimage to this sacred site. Unwanted company had arrived. The traveler and the talking cat, Nekomata, decided to teach them some manners.
display of heroism and valor. It was as if the spirits of my ancestors were fighting through you.
Here's a thought. Could be wrong, but maybe the Traveler Marquis is a lot more powerful than your ancestors.
Well, technically, by saying that, aren't you implicitly acknowledging that my clan's history is, in fact, true? Your martial prowess and show of courage are a more vivid reenactment of my ancestors' feats that suit the modern aesthetic. Now, let's get down to business. As we all know, time is but an illusion. Time may flow line by line, page by page, or frame by frame, but usually it flows in the form of springs and gears.
And that clockwork key you have in your hand can turn back time and make the past reappear.
Well, actually, my view is that the illusion of time is more of a problem of consciousness. Gears power the body, while the body is the vessel of the conscious mind. But the mind cannot understand the dimension of time, so we experience instead an endless continuum of moments as the pinion of now turns along the rack of ages.
I'm getting flashbacks to when I was delivering packages to the Sumeru Academia.
A teacher once asked Albizzi what his greatest fear was, and he replied, dragons. Boberano was asked the same question. He replied, time, and repeated the argument we just heard. The teacher then turned to Cape and posed the same question. He replied, Boberano.
The manuscript that tells the truth of the historical record, the blueprint to all of creation, the work of the great mage themselves. It can be found at the beginning of the gear rack, and on the very first page of the book.
Paimon didn't follow all that, but basically, you're just saying that we need to put the key in and turn it all the way back?
Exactly. It is said that in the beginning, the goddess of creation took the goddess of fate's manuscript as a blueprint, placed it under the goddess of prophecy's starry realm, and generated the world from a few magic arrays. So in a few moments, when the great clockwork key turns the local time here back to the very beginning, we will restore the magic arrays back to their original configurations.
Hold on, isn't stealing part of the blueprint of creation a little dangerous? Also, how are we supposed to know the original configurations of the magic arrays?
Well, the general shapes of the configurations have been passed down over the ages. They now form the family crests of each of our clans. So you'll just need to reference my family crest and join the dots accordingly. To address your other concern, when the house has already been built, do you really think that taking away the construction crew and blueprint will cause it to collapse?
The Traveler Marquis prepares to insert the great clockwork key into the nearby keyhole.
I guess we should start here?
Why don't you give it another try?
I'll keep this close.
Behold, the sacred writings that record the truth of... No, wait. That have shaped the truth of history. Feast your eyes, rejoice, and cheer, for this is the unquestionable truth. Look at the signature. Nobody is capable of forging that.
I don't believe it. So, all along, our histories have been false?
Don't lose heart, Albizzi. It does not follow from his is true that ours are false.
That might be the most bogus logic I've ever heard. But keep up the mental gymnastics, Boberano. I've been waiting for that look of jealousy on your face my whole life, and I'm gonna savor it.
And yet, it seemed that this conundrum could indeed have more than one solution. Everyone agreed that there may be more than one truth. The party decided to visit the sacred sites of the other clans and see what their documents had to say.
Isn't a narrator supposed to remain detached and objective? It feels like you're forcing a narrative agenda on us here. Well, whatever. I'm in a good mood. Let's do it. The instructions say to repeat the process 3 times, and besides, I'm looking forward to watching you both be sorely disappointed.
Let's do my clan next. I'll lead the way.
We'll need the key again, right? Let me see if I can pull it out. Yoink!